Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Learn English Through Story. The topic for today is the haunted house. It was a cold October night and the wind howled outside. Jack and his friends, Sarah and Ben, had always heard rumors about the old house at the end of the street. People said it was haunted. No one had lived there for years, and every night strange noises came from inside. The kids in the neighborhood often dared each other to go near it, but no one was brave enough. Until tonight. Jack, Sarah, and Ben decided to explore the house. They were curious, even though they were a little scared. "It's just an old house," Jack said, trying to sound brave. "There's no such thing as ghosts." They stood in front of the house, staring at its broken windows and the door that hung crooked on its hinges. The moonlight made the house look even creepier. Sarah hesitated. "Are we really doing this?" she asked nervously. "Of course," Ben said, though his voice shook a little. "It'll be fun." Jack pushed open the old wooden door with a loud creak, and the three friends stepped inside. The air inside the house was cold, and it smelled musty, like it hadn't been opened in years. The floor creaked with every step they took, and shadows danced on the walls from their flashlights. As they walked deeper into the house, they heard strange noises, like whispers, but no one was there. "Did you hear that?" Sarah whispered, her eyes wide with fear. "It's just the wind," Jack said quickly, though he wasn't sure. They reached the staircase, which looked old and worn. "Let's check upstairs," Ben suggested, pointing his flashlight toward the dark hallway above. Slowly, they climbed the stairs, each step making a loud creak that echoed through the house. At the top of the stairs, they found a long hallway with several doors on either side. Jack reached for the nearest door and turned the handle. The door opened with a groan, revealing a dusty room. Old furniture covered with white sheets sat in the corners. It looked like no one had been in the room for years. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind them. Sarah screamed, and the three of them tried to open it, but it wouldn't budge. "We're trapped!" Ben shouted, pulling on the handle. Just then, they heard a soft voice coming from the corner of the room. "Why are you here?" the voice whispered. It was so quiet that it almost sounded like it came from the walls. The friends froze in fear. "Who's there?" Jack called out, trying to sound brave, but his voice trembled. A shadow moved across the room. It was hard to see, but it looked like a figure, dark and ghostly, moving toward them. "You shouldn't be here," the voice said again. Panic set in, and the three friends tried desperately to open the door. Suddenly, the handle turned, and the door flew open. Without thinking, they ran as fast as they could down the stairs and out of the house. They didn't stop running until they were far away from the old house, breathing heavily and looking back at the dark silhouette in the distance. "What was that?" Sarah gasped, her heart pounding. "I don't know," Jack said, still out of breath, "but we're never going back there again." The house stood silently at the end of the street, its secrets hidden once more. No one ever dared to enter the haunted house again, and the whispers inside were never heard by anyone, except for those brave enough to listen. Vocabulary list. 1. Howl, meaning a long, loud sound made by wind or animals like wolves. Example, the wind howled through the trees, making the night even scarier. 2. Rumor, meaning a story or piece of information that may or may not be true, passed from person to person. Example, there was a rumor that the old house was haunted, but no one knew for sure. 3. Hesitate, meaning to pause or wait before doing something because of fear or doubt. Example, Sarah hesitated before stepping into the dark room. Musty, meaning a smell of dampness, mold, or old things. The old books in the library had a musty smell, like they hadn't been touched in years. Creak, a long, high-pitched sound made when something wooden moves or bends. Example, the stairs creaked under their weight as they climbed to the second floor. 6. Meaning, to speak very softly so that only someone nearby can hear. Example, they heard a whisper behind them, but when they turned around, no one was there. 7. Budge, meaning to move slightly or change position. They tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. It was stuck. 8. Meaning, to shake slightly because of fear or nervousness. Example, Jack's voice trembled when he called out into the dark room. 9. Silhouette, meaning a dark shape or outline seen against a light background. Example, in the moonlight, they could see the silhouette of the old house at the end of the street. 10. Figure, meaning the shape of a person or thing that is not clear or detailed. A shadowy figure moved across the room, but they couldn't see who or what it was. Thanks for listening to today's story. Would you be brave enough to explore a haunted house? Let me know your thoughts.